My name is Eliza Childress, and I started working with Brown in July of last year. I'm a freelance illustrator. I'm a painter, and I do all my pieces by hand. I do mostly music-related art, and I play records. So I DJ in and out of town, and that's a lot of fun. How did I start to come working with Brown? I used to work at this hair salon where she used to go, and one of her best friends is one of the owners. And I left that salon last spring to pursue art full-time. Once again, it's something that I had done years ago, and I wanted to give it another shot. And I was looking for part-time work, and Meredith contacted me to ask me if I'd be interested in meeting Bronwyn and just kind of coming over to be a part-time assistant. And so I went over to meet Bronwyn, and we really hit it off, and we've been together ever since. I had no previous experience caregiving or, really doing anything that I have learned that we have learned to do together. I did independent research to learn more about ALS so that I knew I could have a better understanding of what Bronwyn was going through. But I wasn't intimidated. She said to me, when she asked me if I had any experience in being a caregiver, or she said, "Have you done anything like this before?" And I said no, and then she said, "We'll YouTube it." So when I met Bronwyn for the first time, I didn't really have any expectations. I knew she wanted to find someone that was interested in, someone that was stylish and just cool to hang out with and relaxed, and that's what Meredith had told me, and that's exactly what she was like when I met her. When we first met, the day that we first met, I was kind of felt like I was on a blind date, and I was really nervous. I remember I was asking the dorkiest questions, like, "So, what kind of music do you listen to?" And I don't know, I was being really awkward, but I think we hit it off pretty quickly. She invited me over to the lake house just a few weeks later, she invited me as her friend, and that meant so much to me because I felt like a beautiful friendship was blossoming. And yeah, we found that we have a lot in common, and we have a very similar sense of humor, and just spending every day with her is just like hanging out and beginning a new friendship. Outside of art or DJing, jobs have always just been jobs to me, something to make money. It's nice if you make friends, but at the end of the day, you're there to work. This is different than anything I've ever experienced. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know that I would find such a beautiful friendship, but even if we didn't become friends, I would still be there for her 100%. Bronwyn is so funny. One day, we were sitting out on her porch, and there are a lot of people over, and so everybody's talking, and she just waited. Everybody filed out, and she looks at me and she says, "Eliza, Bob cigarettes." And I just lost it. I started cracking up. That's one of my favorite. That'll stick with me forever. Bob cigarettes, like Bob Seger cigarettes. And I was like, "What about Pete Seeger Pete cigarettes?" Never mind. Don't use that.
I got it. I got it.
She's so funny. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder, just does she need her space right now? Because we all need our space, and she needs someone to be there for her all the time. So I just try to pay attention to that. Just when do you need your alone time? A lot of us need a lot of alone time, but she needs someone there for her, or someone there in her space. So trying to figure out how to manage that and also hang out. But she lets me know, and it's really easy. I think that being there since last July, being with her and getting to know her, and her getting to know me, I think that has helped us to understand each other, especially post-trach, where communication changed. There's a new normal with communication, and it's communicating with her eye gaze technology, which is amazing, but it just takes a little bit more time. and paying attention and lip reading, or reading her facial expressions. I mean, and sometimes I get it wrong, but I hope that I am able to sense what she needs, and that I'm asking her the right questions. And yeah, I've learned so much that I never thought that I would ever learn. And she's been really supportive and patient and caring all along the way. They were trying to go through agencies to find people that were trained caregivers, but I think there's a serious, I know there is a serious lack of understanding of what Bronwyn and others with ALS are going through, and how different it can be person to person. And so agency caregivers would come in, and while they are trained and I'm sure very great at what they do, they didn't know how to be there for her. There's a lack of understanding out there of what she specifically needs in a caregiver. And so adaptability is key. And so since we started training and assembling this team that's here now, we found some really great people, and people that will adapt, people that want to understand, people that want to be there for her in the ways that ALS requires. But that was so hard to find with people that had been trained to be caregivers, because they're trained to do very specific things and maybe not stray from that. The day before she got her trach, she said, "Hey, Eliza, what should my last word be? YOLO?" Yeah. Having a conversation with somebody, a verbal conversation, it's fast. It can be slow, but oftentimes if you're talking to somebody and you're exchanging ideas, you're having a back and forth, and it's pretty quick. And so with Bronwyn, she has to use her eyes to type out her thoughts. And so learning how to, I'm a fast talker, and I ramble a lot, and I have had to learn how to just shut up sometimes, like allow more space to have a conversation. Don't move on to another topic. We're talking right now, and so allow the time and space to hear both thoughts. She's hearing my thoughts. I want to hear her thoughts. So I just need to allow that extra time. And it doesn't even take that long. She's really great with her technology. She's so good. The Zwicker family is amazing. They have made me feel so welcome, and it made me really feel like a part of the family. They've been so supportive and helpful to me in ways that I could never imagine. They've been there for me a lot in some personal things that I've gone through. Really made me feel special and supported. Okay, Bob is Bronwyn's dad. Bob is funny. Diane is Bronwyn's mom. Diane is funny. Stephen is Bronwyn's husband. Stephen's funny. We made the same joke. He thought that I heard his joke, but I didn't hear it. Me and Bob, we exchanged books. Once I found out that he knows Russian and went to Russia, I have a lot of Russian books, and so like, hey Bob, maybe you want to read this. And like I mentioned earlier, we do a lot of crosswords together. Yeah, Diane is so sweet and caring and loving, and has sat and listened to me quite a bit. And I've also learned a lot through Diane, through communicating with Diane. Diane, Bronwyn's mom, had a stroke and has aphasia and has difficulty in communicating. So sometimes she can't find the words to express what she wants to say. And sometimes she uses the wrong, like the opposite word. I don't want to say wrong because that feels wrong. And just like anybody, we all have our good days and our bad days. And, or like, sometimes there will be days where I'm stumbling over my words, or I just can't think straight, I'm foggy, whatever, this is what I mean. And so you can tell that she's having a really good day when she can get out, she can, I don't know how to, maybe just cut all this.
Sure.
I don't know how to say everything that I'm trying to say, but I learned a lot about how to communicate with someone with a communication barrier in trying to understand and learn how to communicate with Diane so that she can understand me and hear me, and so that I don't ask too many questions. There's a lot of similarities. Actually, Brahman pointed this out to me. There are a lot of similarities between communication with Brahman's mom and with Brahman. Don't ask two questions at once. Ask one question at a time. And the reasons are different, but it's important to remember these things. Diane is searching for the words to be able to answer that one question, and if you ask two, then that's going to throw her off track, and it could be very confusing. With Brahman, it's important to ask one question because then she can give you your answer to that one question, and it should be phrased in a yes or no sort of way, so that, like, if it's something like, are your hands comfortable? She could say yes. Yes or no. That is something that I've struggled with a lot. I have a lot of trouble simplifying my questions into yes or no. I involve too much feeling into it. It's like, I can't answer that. And I ask a lot of questions at once. So, but I don't know. I've learned how to, I'm not perfect at it, but I've learned how to check myself and try to be better. Brahman has a wink that'll melt your heart. I love it when she winks at me. I can't wink. I do a dead eye, and she's, for some reason, appreciates that, but that's my wink to her. And then she does this really cute wink. And it's so sweet.
Can we see the dead eye?
Oh, God. This is for Bronwyn.
Okay.
Oh, God. This is for Bronwyn. She's the only one that loves it. Okay, is that good?
Almost.